Hello and welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be talking all about common wintering garden mistakes that I have seen numerous gardeners do over the years, including myself. I have learned over the past 12 years how to successfully prepare not only organizationally, but monetarily as well for a successful and productive growing season. If you stay until the very end, I'm going to be sharing a original Pennsylvania Dutch traditional meal. We got a lot of things going on in this video. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, mistake number one is seed and seed purchasing and seed buying in general. We are in the beginning of January, and it is very important that within the first couple of weeks of January, you have your seed list ready to go and orders placed, because seeds go out of stock very, very quickly. You want to make sure that if you're doing the winter sowing or even starting your seeds inside, you want to make sure, because of germination rates, you have enough time to get the seedlings going in order for you to put them out at the proper time and on your property. And believe it or not, I have 3 budget tips for seeds. Budget tip number 1. While you're preparing your seed order for the year, make sure that you go back and look at all of the old seeds that you have. I know that as a gardener, you collect seeds, right? They're all over the place. So go through all of your packs of seeds, check and see if they're still viable or if they are a couple of years out of date and they won't germinate correctly. This is going to help you save money. You can focus on not rebuying the same seeds that you already have, but buying new seeds that you want to play with and want to add into your landscape this year. Budget tip number 2 for seeds. Go ahead and think back to a seed that you've had success with. For instance, I've had great success with zinnias. So I know that I can take a nice chunk of my seed budget and I can throw that into purchasing zinnias, because I know that they are tried and true. They are going to come back year after year. I can save the seeds. It is an excellent way to ensure that you're going to have a bang for your buck. Seed tip number 3, perennial seeds. Now is the time in the beginning of January to start purchasing your perennial seeds. You can winter sow your seeds outside right now. You can get those perennials going so then you can fill in all the empty spaces in your landscape. This is a huge budget saver. Think about it. When you go to a garden center and you're buying a perennial, even an off-brand perennial, it can be quite expensive if you're not buying it on sale. The 2 companies that I will be purchasing my seeds from are johnnyseeds.com and selectseeds.com. So it's going to be all winter sowing and it's going to be all direct sowing seeds that I'm purchasing for the 2025 growing season. Common mistake number 2 that I see: not having your supplies organized and ready to go for the gardening season. I throw things all over the place and there's really no order to it. And that's not good for the 2025 growing season, because I don't know how much fertilizer I have. I don't know what pruners I have, where my pruners are. I have a whole bunch of pruners and can't find a single one. They're somewhere. How many sets of new gloves do I need to purchase? I'm just going to take little bits of time here and there. And today I'm going to start with a new garden trug that my mom got me for Christmas. And I'm going to organize that garden trug and get it all set up so when the springtime hits, or when it's time for me to winter sow, I can just grab my trug and go. Another budget tip for this will help you not overspend, because if I think I need biotone fertilizer and I go down into the shed and find a 10-pound bag of fertilizer, which probably is down there, I've wasted money. I could have put that money towards something else that I needed immediately for the season, as opposed to something that I wouldn't need for another season or 2 to come. Mistake number 3 that I see gardeners make and that I have made myself is ignoring all the little small projects that can be done during the winter time that free up time for you in the spring and summertime. I have 2 projects in mind that are going to take, one might take a half hour, the other might take 5 minutes. Let me go ahead and show you right now. The one thing is I have a couple of things sitting out in my driveway, and they ended up there at the end of the season, and I like to look out the door and look at the gardens, and I have a couple of, things in my way that I need to put where they belong. So I'm just gonna take those couple of things, move them onto the deck where they belong for now, and call that space good. Now, let's go downstairs and take a look at the space. That's gonna take a little bit more time to do, but this is something that I've been putting off for years, and it needs to be done. And I'm going to get it done before the spring so that I can enjoy everything else and not worry about this little project that's just been bugging me for quite a long time. And I have a little helpful budget tip for this common winter mistake. If you're going around and you're looking at your little 5, 10, 15-minute winter projects that you need to take care of outside before the growing season hits, let's take this torch, for example. So what we did was we bought inexpensive pots at, I believe, Dollar General. We filled them up with quick setting cement, and then we put the tiki torch in that said container. It's mobile, you can move it all over the place, but now that I'm thinking about it, we're probably going to need a couple more of these. So I need to budget for a couple of tiki torches, a couple of containers, and 1 or 2 bags of cement, so then when the weather warms up enough that we can put a couple more of these tiki torch together, we can go ahead, have everything we need, and have the money already budgeted so husband doesn't yell. Okay, he never yells, so husband doesn't freak out. I can say, I have the money budgeted for that. If you have found any of this information helpful, and if you would like to learn more budgeting tricks and tips and how to garden and have fun while you're doing it, please do click the thumbs up button. Click that red subscribe button down below. Winter gardening tip number 4, and that is not properly budgeting in the wintertime for the summer season. I'm not a saver. This has been a learned behavior for me, but what I have found works best for me is the envelope method. Have you ever heard of the envelope method? If not, let me give you a real quick breakdown. Envelope method is something that financial expert Dave Ramsey teaches in his financial classes. So what you do is you take a envelope, and let's pretend that this envelope is going to be for trees. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take and write trees on this particular envelope, and I'm going to budget a certain cash amount. Let's just say $100 a month. So let's say $20 of that $100, because my $100 is the overall gardening budget that I have per month. I'm gonna take $20 and I'm gonna put it in the tree envelope. Let's say this envelope is going to be for dirt. Yes, I need a dirt budget because I buy dirt, a lot of dirt, a lot of compost, a lot of potting soil. It's amazing how much you need when you're a gardener when it comes to dirt. So I could put $10 into this dirt envelope, so then each month, $10, $10, $10, that would accrue. And then when it's time to buy said dirt, I'll have the money for it. Please comment down below, what winter tips and tricks do you have that you're doing to prepare yourself for the upcoming season? I'm gonna be having an upcoming video of 2 different projects that we want to tackle, and I want to get everybody's opinion as to which one we should tackle first. I was born and raised in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, in the heart of Amish country, and I was raised on Pennsylvania Dutch cooking, which is delightful. It is meat and potatoes, lots of carbs, super yummy. And although in this day and age, it's better to, minimize carbs, this time of year when it's so cold, we need something hearty that's going to stick to our ribs and fill us up and make us feel all warm and cozy inside because it's so ridiculously cold outside. So I'm going to be sharing a homemade chicken pot pie recipe, and do not be afraid, it is not that difficult, and I'm going to include a couple little easy hacks to help process along so you still get that delicious filling home-cooked meal that is easy to prepare and is easy to make. On your stovetop, you want to have a pretty large stock pot in order to cook this meal, and you want the temperature to be at medium. Into the pot, you want to add a 1/4 cup of butter and about 3 tablespoons of olive oil and let that heat up. Next, you want to add 1 cup of diced onion and 1 cup of diced carrots. I did omit the carrots because I forgot to buy them. Go ahead and saute that until the onions are translucent. Now you want to add 5 to 6 peeled and diced potatoes to the pan. Then add 2 48-ounce boxes or cans of chicken stock and 4 cups of water. I use pre-made chicken stock instead of making chicken stock from scratch. I feel it works the same. Now cover and bring to a boil to cook those potatoes. Now you can add all of your seasonings, which is going to be seasoned salt, garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, and pepper to taste. I have all of the exact measurements down below in the description box. Now it's time for 1 pound of shredded cooked chicken. Use a little bit of help from the store and get a rotisserie chicken and just debone it. Now it's time to make those delicious pot pie noodles. Here's the recipe if you want to take a screenshot of it, but I will also have it linked down below. First thing you want to do in the bowl is add your dry ingredients, and then you want to go ahead and add your egg. Then you're going to slowly start pouring in a little bit of milk at a time, stirring with a fork until it turns into a ball. This does take a little bit of practice and patience, but it is actually pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Now that your dough is ready on a floured surface, go ahead and roll it out. You want to roll it out as thin as you can get. I'm guessing about 1/8 of an inch thick, but again, just make sure that you have a lot of flour on that surface, because not only does it help the dough from not sticking to your surface, it also helps thicken up your soup. Use a knife or a pizza cutter to cut your dough into about roughly 1/2 inch squares. Now you're ready to go ahead and put your noodles into your stock pot. You want to make sure that you have this stock pot boiling at this point, because you want to cook the noodles thoroughly. This is a rustic, very forgiving meal. So again, if you don't have exactly 1 cup of onion or 1 cup of carrots, it's fine. Your noodles do not have to be perfectly cut at 1/2 inch squares. Rectangles are fine as well. Just make sure you're being safe and you're using common sense when you're cooking. Give everything a good stir. You can see when you initially put the noodles in, they float on top. After you boil them for about 10 to 15 minutes, the noodles will sink and you are ready to serve up your dinner. Here is the chicken pot pie all plated up and ready to go. The best way to eat this chicken pot pie is with either saltine crackers or with butter bread. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you learned a lot. Again, don't forget to click that red subscribe button. I will see you in the next video.